Bam, bam, bam. The Grand Prix is over. Anyway, welcome to the Monday with very interesting news today, actually. Let's go and see what happened in this amazingly boring racetrack, even though this weekend it was some kind of interesting thanks to some stuff happening. Sorry, there was a cat there. So let's start with the quick news first, because it's the most interesting fact that we have on this Monday, and it's the biggest news for the silly season. Anyway, there were some rumors about it, but it kind of is confirmed. It's not kind of, actually, it's confirmed. Vettel announced his retirement. We had these candidates over here that were in theory able to replace him. There were rumors from the UK that they said that German drivers would be there. Ricciardo, as we know, is not very well in McLaren, and Piastri would be another option. In the beginning, there were some voices saying that Alpine and Alonso were going to be kind of close together. It was almost a done deal. However, later on, they said that Alonso wanted more years, Alpine didn't. So he was looking, and he started sounding for Aston Martin in case of Vettel retired. So Vettel retired, 3 days later, bam. Announced. It's confirmed. Alonso will be driving for Aston Martin from 2023 on. It's a multi-year contract. They didn't say how much he's gonna be getting so far. It has been confirmed some hours ago. But anyway, it's official. So one less thing to concern about for 2023. So now there should be a domino effect with Piastri going to Alpine, and maybe De Vries will be going to Williams after all. So looks like everything is starting to be placing in their correct place, right? Like I said, after Hungary, everything usually starts to get confirmed. Anyway, let's start talking about the race. So we had George Russell with his first pole position with Carlos Sainz and Leclerc. We had Norris. We had Ocon, Alonso, Hamilton, and so on. Max Verstappen was 10th. There were some qualifying issues. But anyway, the race started with Russell on soft tires and both Ferraris in the medium tires, same like most of the field actually. Only few drivers like Verstappen chose for the soft tire to try to gain positions quicker. In Russell's case was to defend himself. In theory, he didn't have the same pace as the Ferraris. The whole weekend was really bad for Mercedes, except for the qualifying and the race, where they actually had some pace. We have here the third corner. In theory, they count this as a corner. It's not really a big corner, but anyway. And you can see more or less the race order in the beginning of the race. You can see both Red Bulls were overtaking the Alpines, starting to get forward. Even though Perez had kind of a disaster of a race. He didn't have the pace all weekend. But anyway, Verstappen did go forward. Here you have Hamilton being followed by Verstappen and overtaking both Norris in this corner. And here comes the most interesting part of the race. The soft tire had a gap between 16 and 21 laps to go to pit lane. So did Russell in lap 15 or 16, something like that. He went to the pit lanes. The funny part is that Carlos Sainz behind him went to the pits on the next lap, trying to cover the undercut or whatever. It was not an undercut, actually. Russell had to pit there because they started to catch him. So the medium tire was supposed to be going further in the race than the soft tire, which Ferrari thought it was not a good idea. So they covered him. You can see the distance between Russell and Sainz. I don't know what Sainz did. He didn't have the pace. He was supposed to be the stronger man this weekend. He had very good qualifying lap. He had very good pace all weekend, but on the race, it disappeared. I don't know what happened. Him with the medium tire, new tires, and Leclerc stopping in lap 22, coming out of the pits in front of Sainz. So it's like Sainz made an undercut. He was in front of Leclerc when he pitted. Leclerc was number 3. And they had like 4 or 5 laps of difference between him pitting and putting new medium tires and Leclerc pitting and putting new medium tires. and he still got in front of Sainz. Sainz had some overtakings to do or whatever, but I mean, it was a disaster race for Sainz. He didn't have the pace once again. But anyway, like, that's not the worst part of the weekend. I mean, what's gonna happen later is amazing. So this is the overtaking for the lead. Leclerc had fresher tires, and he had more pace. Leclerc is not Sainz. Leclerc actually does overtake. So this is the overtake for the lead. He overtook Russell and escaped to the lead. That was lap 31. Here comes the most interesting part. Verstappen stopped to put medium tires, right, around this time. So did Russell. And in Ferrari, they thought it was a good idea to stop Leclerc, that had much fresher tires, in medium tires. He could have gone longer than all these people, and put a hard tire. A hard tire that Ocon, Alonso and Gasly had before on the race, and was absolutely a huge disaster. No pace, the temperature was quite low, so giving temperature to this tire was really hard, and these three suffered a lot. The difference is that Ocon and Alonso stayed committed to the hard tire. Ferrari didn't. They made a suicide thing, and they stopped later to put soft tires to Leclerc when he was in podium positions, which he was going to lose, but at least he was going to stay ahead of Perez, right? But anyway, this was a kamikaze thing. I don't know who did this. I don't know who came up with the idea of this kind of disaster, but they did it. They sacrificed once again Charles Leclerc when he was in the lead. They did it in Silverstone. They did it, where was it? I forgot which race it was, where they also did the same thing. And they are doing it now. It's a complete mess. Ferrari, it's really bad when they are under pressure. Apparently, they don't have the proper people as they used to have, like Ross Brown, and they were the ones giving the other ones what the strategy and how the other ones should react. Now Ferrari reacts to other people. Verstappen went into the pits. They were afraid. They put Leclerc into the pits. However, Verstappen did start in the soft tire, so he could put the medium and try to get to the end. Leclerc started in the medium, did another one in the medium, so he was forced either to stay in the medium and change to the softs later on, as Sainz did, or put the hard tire. So this is a very coward strategy that they did. What does this transmit? They are afraid. They are not going to win the championship. They are not ready to win the championship. Maybe not the drivers. Leclerc made mistakes, same as Sainz, but the team for sure is not ready. And this is a really bad image for Ferrari. This is a complete suicide, what they did. And you can see later on in the press conference, they were laughing about Ferrari. It's like right now at this day, Ferrari, it's a mockery in the F1. So anyway, so Verstappen, that was behind, overtook him with ease. And here comes Russell, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, which will overtake him as well. So first, Verstappen overtook Leclerc, made a 360 with some throttle problems. And that's why Perez and Russell got close to him. So Russell took the advantage of the DRS and overtook Perez, not Verstappen. He didn't have the pace, but anyway, this is the spin that he did in the second to last corner. But anyway, so he overtook him again. I mean, Leclerc had no pace at all. Those hard tires were a coffin. But anyway, Russell, which was slower than Leclerc with a medium tire, let's not forget, quite slower, overtook Leclerc as well. Leclerc was a sitting duck. So in lap 55, Ferrari decides, oh, we messed up. 15 laps later, they put Leclerc to a soft tire, and he goes out behind Perez. So you can see here the order. Verstappen already went in front of everybody. Russell was hanging in there with Sainz behind him with brand new soft tires. He was not going to overtake him because the pace difference between these two cars was not that big, and Russell had the advantage of the medium tire going further than the soft tire, as it happened. Then you have Leclerc making a mistake, and then you have Perez and Norris and Alonso. And the fastest lap, but anyway, it's Hamilton, which overtook every single driver in front of him. So first, you can see Hamilton overtaking Leclerc and Sainz. And you can see here already, Leclerc behind Perez, which he didn't catch. And that was a complete disaster. So the two fastest cars on the weekend that Red Bull started 10th, the day where they could actually make a bleeding of points out of Red Bull, they committed complete suicide. There are 9 races remaining, and like Verstappen has 80 points of advantage with Leclerc, so they really need to screw it up to lose that championship. But anyway, Hamilton overtaking Russell for the second position. Mercedes for the second race in a row, as in France, they have the 2 and 3 positions, and Verstappen won the race with ease. This was criminal. But anyway, you can see here the order: Perez, Leclerc, Norris, 54 seconds behind Leclerc. 54 seconds behind Leclerc. That is a huge thing. Now that the season is going on, and I will make a video about this later this week, you can see that the order of the championship is more or less this. Mercedes looks like in some racetracks they are gonna be there. They don't have the top speed, but they do have the performance in some races where they actually kind of understand how to make the setup of the car. They were completely lost this weekend for the qualifying. They turned the table upside down, and they were very happy, both of drivers, with the car. Hamilton had a problem with the DRS, that's why he qualified 7th. But anyway, you can see both Alpines sticking with the heart, same like Norris and Ricciardo, and none of them did anything interesting. You can see Mick Schumacher here, Vettel scoring the point. Anyway, so the race was kind of interesting thanks to, number one, we have 3 teams fighting for the win. Number 2, Hamilton, Verstappen and Perez qualified quite bad. They were starting 7th, 10th and 11th, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have this screw up with Ferrari. So yeah, that was the main interesting fact in the race. They had to overtake. Anyway, so the prediction. This was the race results. Let's see if I actually did get anyone. I can see I got Max Verstappen, yes. Not Leclerc, not Hamilton. Sainz was P4, so I got this one. Perez was P5, so I got this one. And let me quickly check. Norris was P7, Alonso 8. So didn't get these two on the other side, Esteban Ocon, and I didn't put Vettel. I said maybe Vettel would be there. So actually it was kind of a good weekend, right? We can start to see more or less where the teams are starting to be. Alpine is like the force behind, McLaren is also there. And now you have, depending on the race, Alfa Romeo and Haas are performing. Aston Martin is starting to get closer again. Alfa Tauri looks like lost a lot of ground, so that's more or less what is happening in the F1. So, which of these drivers got the first victory in Hungary? If you knew it, this was a very easy one. 2005, Jenson Button, and 2003, Fernando Alonso. That was the result. Nobody commented, as per usual, so... Anyway, take it easy. We have 3 weeks of break until the best Grand Prix of the season. We have Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps. If you are new, this is the best racetrack. I always recommend anyone to watch that race because if it's raining, it's gonna be amazing. So stay tuned. I will make an episode of analysis of half of the season. So far, we have the summer break, but anyway, to see how the teams are performing when they started the season comparing with last season and how they are doing now comparing with the beginning. So, what can we say? Take it easy. Don't go too much to the beach.